Good morning, dear students. Today we'll have a Zoom class based on the looping concept. In the previous class, we started the concept of looping, wherein we see that looping is repeated execution of some instructions, right? So we execute the same set of instructions multiple times till some condition is satisfied, right? So here, whenever we want to repeatedly execute a particular statement or a set of instruction, we can use the concept of looping. So here a condition needs to be specified, otherwise it results in infinite loop, right? So this was the basic concept of looping we discussed. And then we have three main things in any type of loop, that is initialization, condition, updation, that is ICU. So wherein we have an index variable, we will be initializing the index variable, okay, and then check for a particular condition based on which it can enter the loop. Once control enters the loop, we have set of instructions which have to be executed repeatedly. And then every time we are going to update the index variable. So the three main things in any loop is ICU, that is initialization, condition, and updation. So then we have, of course, the statements which is to be executed multiple times will be there in the body of the loop. So yesterday we saw that there are three types of loop, and among which we discussed the first two, that is while and for. So now I will first revise with the while statement. So the while statement is to execute repeatedly the particular set of statement. So wherein first we have initialization, give a initial value to the index variable. And then we have while keyword, and within bracket we have the condition. And inside the body of the loop we have the statements which need to be executed repeatedly. And then we have updation, right? So updation is to update the index variable using any operation. So we can use increment, that is increment by 1 or increment by 2 for any number, or we can decrement the index variable, or we can multiply index variable by 2 or 4 or any number, or we can divide any type of operation which will update the value of index. It is going to change the value of the index variable. So based on that, we will give the condition also. So these are the three main parts in any loop, and this is the syntax of while loop, right? So we saw that yesterday, as well as a simple program to print Presidency University multiple times. We are initializing, right? So we are declaring a index variable and number, and then take input for number. That is how many times we want the loop to execute. So that is taken as number. And then we have the while condition, while keyword, within bracket we write the condition I less than equal to number. And then the statement, we want to print Presidency University many times, so we give that printf statement inside the loop. And then we are typing I also, printing I, which is like counting the number of times. Percentage d times is nothing but I. And then we have the updation statement I plus plus, where I is incremented by 1. So we are going to count every time. So as for example, we want to print 5 times, so it will count 1 2 3 4 5. And then once I becomes 6, 5 plus 1 6, it checks for the number I less than number, 6 less than 5. So condition is false. So once the condition is false, it exits from the loop. So the control comes out of the loop, and then the loop is completed. And then it will continue with the rest of the program if there is any, or else here we just have a closing bracket, so it stops execution, right? So this was a revision for the while loop. The next loop we discussed is for loop. For loop is very much similar. The syntax is different, right? So here similarities in terms of the execution. So here also we have the three parts of loop, that is ICU: initialization, condition, and updation. So initialize the variable first. So the working is exactly same as while loop. If we understand while loop, it is very easy for us to understand for loop. It is very much similar to while loop. So here first we are going to write for keyword within bracket initialization. So initialize the index variable. For example, if we take the same way as while loop example, I will be 1. So that is initialization. And then check for condition I less than number. So number can be how many times we want to print Presidency University. So for example, 10. So I less than equal to 10. So from 1 to 10, it will print 10 times. Then once we check condition, next we will execute the statement, that is printf. Please note here, after condition, we will not update. So after checking condition, we will execute the statement exactly like while loop. So first initialize, then condition, then statement is executed, and then after execution of statement, we have updation, I plus plus, for example. So I becomes 2. Then again, the working continues. I initialization will not be done, but condition is checked for 2. So condition is checked 2 less than 10. Yes, execute print statement, and then update I becomes 3. So this is how it condition continues. So let us see the same example. So this is the syntax for loop. I hope this is clear. So syntax for loop. So the same example we saw yesterday, that is to print Presidency University multiple times. So that is here we are going to check for the index, right? And then take input for number. So first we have initialization, which is I equal to 1. In case we take input as 10, that means we want to print Presidency University 10 times. So I is less than equal to 10 is to be checked. That is the condition. So 1 less than equal to 10. So that is true. It will print 1 time Presidency University. Now updation is done. So I plus plus, it becomes 1 plus 1, 2. Now I is going to be checked. So in this case, 2 less than 10. Yes, true. So 2 time Presidency University is printed. Now note that initialization is done only in the beginning, only once. Now I is 2. It does not initialize. It will only increment. So I becomes 3. Now check for condition. 3 less than equal to 10. Yes. Now print 3 time Presidency University. Next I becomes 4. Print. So 4 less than 10. Print 4 time Presidency University. So like this it continues for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now 10 less than equal to 10. So 10 is equal to 10. Condition true. It prints 10 time Presidency University. Now let us see what happens next. Now here after printing 10 time Presidency University, again it comes to I plus plus. So 10 plus 1, I becomes 11. So 11 less than equal to 10 is the condition to be checked. So when we see this, 10 is neither less than 11 is neither less than 10 nor is it equal to 10. So condition is false. So once the condition is false, the control comes out of this loop. So the program will complete. So we have printed Presidency University 10 times. So I hope this is clear. I just repeated the same example which we discussed yesterday. Okay. So now we have, so here I will just check. So only, so in case you have any doubt, you have the option of unmuting yourself. You can unmute yourself and ask doubt, or as I've told you, your chat box is enabled. You can message your doubt in the chat box. I will reply it in the class now itself. I hope this is clear. So let us see, once we just discussed till now whatever we have seen yesterday. So that was just a revision of yesterday's class. So now we have the next problem, that is problem 15. As you can see, that is the timer problem. We have discussed the flow chart for this problem, right? In the class, you can refer the flow chart in your book, so that we have discussed the same exact problem with the flow chart, wherein we have a continuous evaluation like quiz, test 1, test 2 are conducted in CP. So the maximum time has to be fixed. So for example, if we say 5 minutes is fixed for a quiz, so there has to be a timer. Timer means what? So we are going to display like 5, and then after a minute it becomes 4, and then 3, 2, 1. And when it comes 0, the students are expected to stop writing, right? Evaluation time is completed. So this stopwatch has to be simulated. So the question says print 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is the timer, and when the time is elapsed, that is for 0, print stop the evaluation. So what is the requirement here? First we need to know what is the maximum time, right? So maximum time for evaluation is to be captured, so that is the input. So here it is a number wherein it signifies a second, minute or hour. So we are going to take input as say 5 minutes, so it has to be taken as input. Next requirement says time should be decremented by 1 unit each time. So here we are taking minute as the unit, so it has to be decremented by 1. So it should be like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and when the time is elapsed, so after 1 it becomes 0. So when time is 0, a message should be displayed as stop the evaluation. So according to this question, we understand if we take input as 5, we need to print 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then stop the evaluation has to be printed. I hope the question is clear to all of you. If there is any doubt in this question, you can message. Okay, so here we have the program. I will just see. I have shared a new screen here to all of you, wherein you can see the program. Okay, so we have the program wherein we are declaring the timer T. Okay, so a timer T is declared here. We can take any variable, right? So it's taken as int here. You can take any data type as well. So int or float. So first we are taking input for the timer. Enter the maximum time for evaluation. So take input since integer, format specifier is %D. So once we take input, for example, we enter 5. Okay, so in this case 5 is the input. Please note, we discussed yesterday that the loop can be executed by incrementing the index, decrementing the index, etc. Like that is the updation. So here we have 5 and it's going to be decremented because we are going to print 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So it is getting reduced by 1. That means we are decrementing the index. So in this case, we have this input statement itself is the initialization. So once we give input as 5, that becomes the initialization. So we know there are 3 parts of the loop, right? So first one is like ICU, first one is initialization, then we are going to check condition and then updation. So in this example, in the input is nothing but initialization. T is the index, right? So here T is index, it starts from 5, for example. So now we have the initialization part done. Next we need to check for condition. We are going to print until 0, right? So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all these values are greater than 0. So that is the reason we will write the condition T greater than 0. Okay, so in this case T greater than 0, we just need to print the value of T. So this is the statement which will be executed multiple times. So first we are printing T. So in this case we have T value, I'm sorry. Okay, T value is printed wherein we have the first value of T is 5. We print 5. Now T minus minus. So T becomes 4, right? So here T becomes T minus minus. When we update, it becomes 4, right? We change the value to 4. Now again, once we update this, we are going to check the condition. 4 greater than 0. Yes. So 4 is greater than 0. So condition is true, right? So now print T. So after 5, then print T4. Okay. Now again updation, 4 becomes, so T value changes 4 minus 1. 3. Now check the condition. So this loop continues until the condition is true. So now 3 should be checked. 3 is greater than 0. Yes, true. 3 greater than 0. Now print t. So what is t? T is 3. Right? Next, what happens? T minus minus. So 3 minus 1 is 2. So T is now updated. Please note, initialization is done only once. So now only with the condition statement and updation we are working. This is required to understand for loop also. This is exactly how for loop also works. Okay, so let us continue. T greater than 0 is the condition. So we updated T, it has become 2. 2 greater than 0 is true. So now print the value of t, that is 2. Next we have t minus minus. So that means 2 minus 1, t becomes 1. Okay. Now again check for condition. This while loop keeps looping until condition is true. Once condition becomes false, we come out of the loop. So check now 1 greater than 0. Yes, it is true. So what we do is print t. T is nothing but 1. Right? So now we have next updation t minus minus. So t is 1, 1 minus 1, t becomes 0. Okay. So next when we check for condition, the condition says t, that is 0. Check if it is greater than 0. Is 0 greater than 0? No, 0 is equal to 0. So condition is false. Right? Condition false. It is going, the control will exit the loop. So it comes out of the loop. After loop we have printf statement, stop the evaluation. Right? So as per the question says, we have printed 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we will print stop the evaluation. Okay. So I hope this is clear. So that I'll repeat again. So here in this question, we need to simulate a timer. As we have seen a stopwatch or a timer, we have seen in many applications. It is nothing but we start from a particular value and keep decrementing till 0. So say we have a quiz for 5 minutes. So it has to display a timer 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and then stop the evaluation. That is the question. So first we will take input for the maximum time. So say we take input as 5 minutes. So 5 is the unit. Minutes, 5 minutes is the unit. So check for condition next. So 5 greater than 0, we will print 5. Next, timer is decremented, 5 becomes 4. Again check 4 greater than 0. Yes. So similarly 3, 4, 3, 2, 1 and 1 is greater than 0. We print till 1 and then check 1 minus 1, it becomes 0. Now when we see this 1 greater than 0 greater than 0 is false because 0 is equal to 0, condition is false, it exits the loop. So we have printed 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and next we will print stop the evaluation. I hope this is clear. So here we have the statements. The commands are what you have used in the lab. If you are using MinGW, the commands will be respective commands, what you know. So then we have like notepad timer.c instead of gedit. Compilation will be gcc program name.c, and for execution instead of /a.out in MinGW use a or a.exe. Right? So here we are taking input first. So maximum time of evaluation is taken as 5. Once we give 5, we see that it prints 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and after 1, since t becomes 0, it prints stop the evaluation. Right? So this is the program for while loop. So you can try once to write the same using for loop. So initialization is the same. You can take a separate variable, say I, and give I is equal to t. Condition will be t greater than 0 and decrement is t minus minus. Inside the loop, you write printf statement. So I have given you a hint here. So try to write it for loop. So we will discuss that tomorrow's class. Okay. So this will be your homework. So by tomorrow's class, you try to convert this while program using for. So we know just the syntax is a little different. Okay. So in this case, syntax is a little different. So that's it. Every other logic is the same. Okay. I hope this is clear. Fine. So now let us go back to the lab sheet. I have displayed this new screen. Okay, which is your question. So this has to be solved using both while and for loop. While loop we just solved now. Okay, so then we have for loop. Okay, for loop you try it once, otherwise tomorrow we will discuss that also. So I want you people to try that program using for loop. Okay, so next we have the problem 16. Fine. So problem 16 says Radha has brought 5 books for reference to prepare for her semester exam. She studied that factorial of n. So this problem is basically to find factorial of n. So we know n factorial, the way it has to be displayed. N factorial, for example, 5. 5 factorial is 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, right? So we have 5 factorial is calculated that way. We have 2 people who have raised their hand. If you have any doubts, please message it. Okay, so I will reply to the doubt. I hope the previous problem is clear. So we have discussed the same program using while loop. Try to write in for loop. If you have any doubts, you can let me know. Okay, so this problem 16 is to find factorial of n. N is the number of books. So factorial of n gives the number of ways she can use to arrange n items, right? So she wants to arrange 5 books, and that she has brought. So number of ways to arrange will be 5 factorial. 5 factorial is 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 is 5 factorial. So let us see what are the requirements to solve this problem. So first requirement is number of books has to be captured. So in this we can give one input as 5. Okay, 5 books has to be captured. Next we can give any other input also. So this problem can work for any number, right? So we can give any number, that will be the input, right? So number of books has to be captured. Now the book has to be arranged starting from first book and so on, second book, and then all the books have to be arranged. So we know that factorial of n has to be taken for arranging the book. So then finally the total number of ways her book has to be arranged has to be displayed. So that is nothing but n factorial. So the question says execute in both while and for loop. So I hope the question is clear. So 5 books has to be arranged. So factorial of n gives us the number of ways we can arrange any book or any item. So 5 books, if we have, the number of ways to arrange 5 books is given by 5 factorial. So that problem is to find out the 5 factorial or any number. So factorial of n. Okay. So let us see how this works, right? So here we'll have the program, just a minute. So simple while program. We have factorial wherein the program is to be checked for finding the factorial of n. So please note that we have the question displayed wherein it says that the question we need to arrange 5 books. So you can write down in the book that we are writing, say for example there are 2 books, book 1 and book 2. Okay, so book 1 on top of book 2. Why is this factorial taken as the number of ways to arrange the books? So that is mainly because we have the number first. If we have 2 books, book 1 on top can be given, or we can have book 2 on top, right? So that will be book 1 and book 2. So B1 B2 is one way, or B2 B1 can be another way to arrange the book. So you note down first in your book that we have B1, B2 is one way to arrange the book, and another way is B2, B1. So that becomes 2 factorial. Here we have 2 into 1, which is 2 factorial, is nothing but 2 books, right? 2 ways to arrange 2 books. So when we take similarly for 3 books, how do we arrange 3 books? That is, we have 3 and that books B1, B2, B3, for example. So 3 books means it is going to be B1, B2 and B3. So how do we arrange that B1, B2 and B3? So first we'll have B1, B2, B3, then we have B2, B1, B3, and next we have B3, B2, B1. Similarly, we are going to arrange these books, right? So when we arrange each of them, we are going to see that each book number of ways it can be arranged. So it is going to be first fix B1 on top, and then we are going to see how we arrange, that is B2, B3 will be the one way of arranging that book. So let us see this. If we have n equal to 3, so first if we have n equal to 1, we just write B1. So first we need to know why factorial is taken as a solution, right? So question says factorial is number of ways to arrange the book. But how do we understand this? If there is only book 1, we write it as B1. Okay. So here, yeah, so I've shared this same screen, fine. So n is 1, so B1 we just keep that book, right? So that is one way. 1 factorial is nothing but 1. We write 1 and then factorial is exclamatory symbol, which is only 1. Let us say if we consider n is equal to 2. So what is 2 factorial? 2 factorial is 2 into 1, which is equal to 2. What is the meaning of this? How do we arrange it in 2 ways? So 2 factorial, we arrange book 1 on top and then book 2 can be below, right? So now if we consider another way, so book 2 can be on top and then book 1 can be below, right? So in this case, we have 2 ways to arrange book 2 books. Now, if we have n equal to 3, how do we arrange 3 books? So let us say we fix book 1 on top and next we can have book 2. Okay. Then we can arrange book 3. Okay. So this is one way. So book 1 on top and then we keep book 2 and then 3. Right. So let us fix this book 1 itself on top. What is another way here? So instead of book 2, second book can be B3 and third one can be B2, right? We fixed B1. What is the another way to arrange? So let us say we fix B2 and the second book can be B1 and then the third book is obviously B3, right? Another way will be we fix B2 and then second book can be B3 and the third book can be B1, right? So these are 4 ways. Now again we can fix B3. So book 3 on top, the second book can be B1 and then the third book can be kept as B2, right? So book 2 below and then on top of it book 1, on top we have book 3. Now we can still fix book 3 and next below book 3 we can keep book 2 and then we can keep book 1. So these are the number of ways. Any other? That's it, right? So how do we find this? 3 factorial. 3 factorial is nothing but 3 into 2 into 1. That is 6 ways, right? So 6 ways to arrange 3 books. So 2 ways to arrange 2 books is this way. Book 1 on top, book 2 is below. Another way is book 2 on top, book 1 is below, right? So book 2 on top, book 1 below will be the second way. So 2 ways to arrange 2 books. Now that is 2 factorial. When we have 3 books, we can arrange it like this. Okay, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ways. How do we find that? 3 factorial. 3 factorial is nothing but 3 into 2 into 1, which is 6 ways we can arrange the 3 books. Similarly, let us see how to we arrange 4 books, right? So in the same way, if we generalize, 4 books can be arranged by 4 factorial ways. So what is 4 factorial? 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So that is 24 ways we can arrange the 4 books. So I leave it to you this exercise, like you take B1, B2, B3, B4 next and see how does it become 24. Like we did for 3 books, you take it for 4 books. Okay. Now that you can write. If we take according to the question, it says there are 5 books. Similarly, how do we arrange 5 books? That is 5 factorial. 5 factorial is 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So that is 120, right? So 24 into 5, 120 ways to arrange 5 books. So this is the required solution we need, 120. So that will be 5 factorial. Okay. So I hope you understood how to understand the logic of the question. So here we have 5 factorial is how we get the number of ways to arrange 5 books. Okay. So 5 factorial. Now if we take this in general, right? So we have n books. Okay. So if we have n books, we can write this as n factorial, right? N factorial will be written in generalized form. We can write this as n into 5. If it's n, it is 4 next. So that means 4 is nothing but 5 minus 1. Similarly, n minus 1. Okay. Into, then we have n. So 5 into 4 into 3. 3 is 5 minus 2. Similarly, next will be n minus 2. Okay. Into n minus 3. And this will continue till where? We cannot multiply 0. Everything becomes, anything into 0 becomes 0. So this will continue only till 3 into 2 into 1. Okay. In general, n factorial can be written as n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 up to 1. Okay. So this is the generalized form we have for n into n minus 1. Right. So now if we have, let us take this previous example now. 5 factorial, right? So 5 factorial, we know it is nothing but 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Now this we can also write as 5 into 4 factorial. Yes or no? So this 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 is nothing but 4 factorial, right? 5 can be written as 5 into 4 factorial, right? So similarly, if we have for n, how do we write n factorial then? N factorial we can write in similar cases as n into n minus 1 factorial, right? So n into n minus 1 factorial, which becomes n factorial. Okay. So this is a generalized form. So we have reduced the logic to one step like this. So n factorial we can write as n into n minus 1 factorial. So what do we do here every time? We have a letter, okay, some number we want, and we are going to multiply it with n minus 1 factorial. So this is the logic. Okay, so we need to multiply repeatedly. So we have one number, we have to repeatedly multiply with its factorial. So n minus 1 factorial. So this is the hint. Okay, you please try to solve this now. Next. Okay, this is the hint given. I have given the hint. You can try to solve it using while or for loop. We will discuss this again in the next class. Fine. So this is the hint given. I've explained now why is it necessary to take a factorial for finding factorial. Why is it necessary? Like we want to find how many ways to arrange. So why is it that factorial is required? Okay. So I hope this the condition is clear. Okay. If we have one book, we just keep that book as it is. So that is only one way. If we have 2 books, book 1 on top is one way, book 2 on top is another way. If we have n equal to 3, there are 3 books can be arranged in 3 factorial ways, 6 ways. Similarly, 4 books we can arrange in 4 factorial ways, and 5 books we can arrange in 5 factorial ways. Similarly, we see n factorial can be written like this, and in short, we can write n factorial as n into n minus 1 factorial. So now we see why factorial is required to know how many ways to arrange the books. Okay, that is the problem. So here we have that problem has to be solved using if while and for loop. Okay, you just try it. So there are 2 problems I have given you as example to solve. So those 2 you try by tomorrow's class. Okay, the first one we did while loop, just convert while to for. Second, factorial, I've told you the logic, you just try to solve it. By tomorrow's class we will see that, we'll discuss that also. Okay, so then we have problem 17, where we have the question says you work for a company which pay X as your salary. Okay, annual revision of your salary is based on the effort. Effort is measured as Y. So where the Y values are in the scale of 1 to 10. So we can give Y as 1 up to 10 only. No value less than 1, that is 0 or negative, or no values greater than 10, that is 11 onwards, can be given for Y. Okay, so in this case Y value can be given as 1 to 10 only. New salary is an exponential growth of salary over effort. What does this mean? We are going to compute that new salary as X power Y. Okay, so here it is taken as XY, that is the subscript. Okay, X to the power Y. Z is equal to X power Y. So that is nothing but the condition. So in this case, we understand that Z is equal to X power Y. So this problem is basically to find one number to the power of another number. So we have certain functions like POW and all, we will not use that. Okay, so here we have to solve it without using any standard function. We have to solve using loop. So what is the requirement? The software needs to be developed to compute new salary with this requirement. What is the requirement? Current salary X has to be captured. Okay, then effort Y needs to be captured. So value should be between 1 to 10. Okay, so here we need not give any condition for that. Just mention in printf that value is between 1 to 10 for Y. Next requirement says that new salary Z has to be computed as Z equal to X to the power of Y, and then display the new salary, which is Z. I hope the question is clear. Okay, so here we have the question which says X power Y has to be found. Okay, so because of lack of time, I am displaying the question here itself. So the new screen, you can see that the program is being displayed, wherein we have declared the variables as float, right? So we may have floating point variables. We have declared it as float. X is the current salary. Y is the effort, whose value should be between 1 to 10. Z we have initialized to 1. Why is Z initialized to 1? We have the concept of multiplicative index. I hope you know. So any number, so this is multiplicative identity. Multiplicative identity means multiplicative identity is 1. It means that any number we multiply. So in this case, we multiply any number by 1. So what happens when we multiply any number by 1? So if we have say 3 into 1 is equal to 3 only. So any number we multiply by 1, we will get back the same number, right? So we are getting back the same number. So that is what the reason multiplicative identity is 1. Okay, 1 is called as multiplicative identity. If we take 0, we will just have 0 3 into 0, any number you multiply by 0, we will lose the value. We will get back answer as 0 only. We don't want to lose the value. So that is the reason we are taking as 1. So initially we will take the value as multiplicative identity. 1 is called as multiplicative identity because any number multiplied by 1 will give us the same number. Okay, so we are taking Z as 1. So now we have the input. Next we are taking input for X. Okay, so that is the current salary. Next we have to take input for Y. So mention that effort value should be between 1 to 10 as per the question. Now we have taken this as input. So that is nothing but initialization. Next we are going to check for condition. So in this case we need to multiply each number. Okay, so we are multiplying that first number. So first we have the value of X. Let us consider, say we want to find, we will take a small value so that it will be simple for us to understand. Okay, so in this case if we take input, let us say we consider just the current salary in terms of 1000. If we take input as say 25, so 25,000. Okay, let us consider tab. So let us consider the Y input is given as 2. Effort is less, so say only 2. So what is the meaning of this? We have to find 25 square. Okay, 25 to the power of 2. Okay, let us make it as 3 instead. So 25 power 3 is what we have to find out. Okay, 25 is in terms of 1000. So we have taken 25 is the value of X. That is the input. So X is equal to 25. And for Y, we know that it needs to be between 1 to 10. We will take Y equal to 3. So the question accordingly, we have to find 25 cube. So now let us see how this works. So when we check the condition, what is Y? Y is 3. 3 greater than 0. Yes. So this is true. Now condition is true. Here we know that power means we have to multiply. What is X power 25 power 3? It is nothing but 25 into 25 into 25. So basic operation we observe is nothing but multiplication. So we are going to multiply this 25 is nothing but X. But we cannot multiply with Y. If we multiply with Y, it becomes 25 into 3, which is wrong. So we will first multiply with 1. Okay, since we know 25 into 1 will not change the value. So we have taken that Z value as 1. So now accordingly, Z we are going to take. So Z becomes, so Z into X. What is Z? So Z is equal to, currently Z is 1. 1 into what is X? As per the input, X is 25. So now it becomes 25. Okay, 1 into 25, Z value becomes 25. Next, what happens inside the while loop? We have Y minus minus. So decrement the value of Y. This is mainly to keep track of how many times we have multiplied 25. We need to multiply it 3 times. That is the value of Y. So Y minus minus, Y will be equal to 3 minus 1, which is 2. Now Y becomes 2, right? So that is 3 minus 1, it becomes 2. So Y is 2 now. Now again check for condition Y greater than 0. So Y is 2. So 2 greater than 0. Yes, it is true. So now what happens to Z? Z has changed to 25. Okay. So we have Z is 25 into 25. What is 25 into 25? It is 125. Right. So Z becomes 125. We have multiplied 25 2 times now. Correct. Next, Y changes, Y minus 1. So that is 2 minus 1, Y becomes 1. So now we executed this. So check for condition Y greater than 0. Is 1 greater than 0? Yes, true. Now we need to multiply Z. So Z was 125. So 125 into X is 25. So that answer becomes 625. So which is Z now? Okay, Z value is 625. What happens to Y? Y is 1 minus 1. So Y becomes 0. Okay, so Y becomes 0. Is 0 greater than 0? No, it is, condition is false. Okay, so condition becomes false and the control exits from the loop. Now the new salary is nothing but the value of Z. So we print new salary is Z. Okay, so we print that 625, which is nothing but 25 cube is equal to 625. So that we have found the value of the x power y. So that is 625. Okay, I hope this is clear. Let me repeat it again. So first, according to the question, we say x is the current salary and y is the effort. So based on the effort, we will calculate new salary z. So basically it means z is equal to x to the power y. While declaring, we will initialize z. The value which holds the result has to be initialized with an identity. Since the basic operation here is multiplication, we will initialize z with multiplicative identity. For a basic operation as addition, we have to initialize with additive identity. So additive identity will be 0. So anything we add 0, we will get back the same number. So here, because the basic operation is multiplication, the result variable is initialized with multiplicative identity. This is very, very important. If we don't initialize, it will take the initial value with some random value. Okay, some garbage value will be multiplied. The final result will be wrong. So we need to initialize while declaration. So initialize the variable with the identity. Because it is multiplication, initialize z with multiplicative identity 1. Okay, so that is the meaning of multiplicative identity. Any number multiplied by 1, we get back the same number. Okay, so here we are going to get this. First take the input as, okay, yeah, right. Sorry, this value is 15,000. Okay, so that is multiplication. So wherein we have 15,625. Thank you. So here we are going to get the final answer when we multiply this 15. Okay, so here let me repeat. So we have x is taken as input, which is current salary. So we take that as 25 and say effort we take is 3. Okay, so y is equal to 3. Now the question accordingly, we need to find x to the power y, that is 25 to the power 3 is 25 cube. So this program is basically to find the value of one variable to the power of another variable. So if we say POW is one standard function available, okay, so we cannot use that function here. Without that, we have to execute. So let us see how that power function works. So we will use a while loop here. So first thing is we have initialized y already. Y is the index variable. Okay, so we have initialized that while taking input. So y is equal to 3. Now let us see, first check for y greater than 0. So 3 is greater than 0. We have basic operation is multiplication. So we are not multiplying 25 into 3 because then that is where it will stop. We want to multiply 25 3 times. So that is the reason we take z into x. Okay, not y into x. Okay, so z into x, z initially is 1. We will multiply by 25. Okay, so that is one time we have multiplied, so 25 only. So when we say this, 1 into 25. Okay, so this is the first operation we have done now. 1 into 25 is done first. So that is 25, which is z. Then y becomes 2. Okay, then 2 is greater than 0. Now again multiply. So that z is 25 into 25. So we get 125. Next y becomes 1. 1 is greater than 0. Yes, true. So now 125 into 25. So that is the answer 15,625. Okay, now then 1 becomes 0, right? Y is 1 minus 1. So it becomes 0. Next, when we check, y becomes 0. So 0 greater than 0, condition is false. So control will exit from the loop. And we print the new salary, which is 15,625. Okay, I hope this is clear. So if you have any doubts, you can please ask. Any doubts? Dear students, you all are unmuted already. Please let me know if you have any doubts. Is this concept clear?
No doubt, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So we have seen this example right? So using a while loop, so you have to try the same using for loop. Okay, so I hope you can try this using for loop. So we have some few minutes left for the class. All of you, like every class, please type your name and roll number. Few of you have started. Very good. So please type in your name and roll number in the chat box so that it will get recorded for me. Okay. If you have any doubts, please let me know.
ఖాళీ టైం దొరికితే సరే బాగా అన్ని
Okay, along with that, we will just see there are few more problems here. Okay, I will share the chat sheet also with you people.
అది వాడి వరకు పెట్టుకుంటాడు
మన కొరకు శ్రీకాళహస్తికి ఏమో ఎన్నిసార్లు కొనుక్కున్నా కొనలేకపోతున్నాం.
So I just wanted this and little introduction to the do while loop as well. Okay, so the only statement the format is different syntax, otherwise the three parts of do while loop are exactly same as while loop when we compare. So initialization, condition and updation is there. Only thing to observe is while is written at the end. Okay, so basically we have ICU, initialization, condition at the end, and inside that we have updation. Okay, and we have the statements to be executed repeatedly. So this is the syntax for do while loop. Okay, so here we have ICU, initialization is done first, then we print or execute the statement once, then update the index and then check for condition. So checking the condition is done at the end. So if we see this in while loop, initially if the condition is false, it does not enter the loop at all. But in do while, the statement is executed at least once. So that is the basic difference between while and do while loop. So we will see just this one last example wherein similar to for and while, we have the do while loop to print Presidency University multiple times. So when we see this, so that we have do while loop syntax is a little different. That's all. We have taken index. Okay, that is while loop. Like similarly to while loop, we have do while loop index. Then we have number of times we want to print Presidency University. So that is the input. So number, and we are taking index as 1. Next, we will print this statement multiple times. So we print welcome to Presidency University, and then we are going to have while the index will be incremented to 2, and then check if number is say 5. Okay, so number is 5, we print one time Presidency University, then we increment it to 2. Now check is 2 less than equal to 5. That means minimum once we are printing Presidency University. Okay, if even the condition is false also. So here you can see it has printed once. Okay, Presidency University is printed. Next index becomes 2, again print. So 2 less than equal to 5, right? So here if we take 5 times we want to print 2 less than equal to 5, yes, print Presidency University again. Now again in so this 2 becomes index plus plus, it becomes 3, right? Index becomes 3. Now 3, is it less than equal to 5? Check the condition. Now 3 is less than equal to 5. Yes, condition is true. Now again print PU, right? So here the main difference is we are going to check condition later but print first. Okay, in while loop we check the condition first and then printed the statement. Here we are printing the statement first and then updation and then condition. So condition comes at the end. So that is the only difference. So here let us continue. It becomes 4. Okay, so here 4 less than equal to 5. Yes, condition is true. Now again come back to do and print Presidency University, fourth time. Okay. Now increment, it becomes 5. Check. So condition is checked. So 5 less than equal to 5. Yes, 5 is equal to 5. So now come back to the loop and print. So it prints Presidency University 5 times. Now loop becomes 6. So when we check the condition, it becomes 6. Is it less than equal to 5? 6 is neither less than 5 nor is it equal to 5. So condition is false, right? So this is how do while loop works. So we just saw this. You try and execute this program. I will be sharing the proceedings of the class as well. Okay. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Right. So here, I hope all of you have messaged your name and roll number. Yes. Fine. So we will schedule the next class. I will message the credentials. Okay. Fine. I hope this is clear. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.